Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well this week. Hope you're staying warm if it's cold where you are, because it is freezing in Calgary. So it's a great day to hang out in my craft room and create with you guys. My name is Loritamarie from Loritamarie Crafts, and I love coming here live to share fun tips, techniques, ideas, inspiration with you to help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects. Today we're going to be making like a cute little gift box for cards, and so you can fit 4 cards inside. So we're going to make the box plus 4 cute simple cards that you're going to have a good time recreating on your own. I also love to provide opportunities for you guys to craft, so ways that you can get kits or take part in classes that I offer. And so I just have 2 on the go right now that I'm just going to quickly let you know about. The first one is today's my last day to sign up for my winter craft day, which is something I haven't done before, and so I'm just kind of like figuring it out. So if you're local in Calgary, you can choose like a morning or afternoon block or the whole day. If you're out of town in Canada, I can put a little kit together for you, or you can get one of Stampin' Up's kits, and then I'll put you I'll put a little thank you like gift in the mail for you. And I just wanted to show you the kits that my kits that I designed that you can do. And so if you watched a few weeks ago, I did the Corner and Bloom stamp set. And so I thought that would be a fun one to turn into a kit because it's all different like coloring techniques and stuff. So this is one of the kits of mine that you could do. And the second one is featuring the Happy Hibiscus bundle. And I love that bundle, but I hadn't played with it much, so this kind of made me do it. So I'm just going to quickly show you the cards. There's 6 unique cards, and each one features kind of like a little different technique with the Happy Hibiscus bundle. So you can order this kit. If you do it at a town, you are going to need the bundle to do it. So because you're going to want to be able to stamp and everything on your own. Okay, so that's on my website under classes, and today's the last day to sign up for that. The other thing I always do is every month I do a Stamp and Create, which features a little section of products with some fun projects for you to make. And the registration's open to the 20th, so you can check that out on my website too. It's just called February Stamp and Create class. But this month is the Wildflower Birthday paper and products, and it's my fave. So here's just like that suite, if you've recognized that. So you get some DSP, you get some cardstock, you get the gems, the party dots, aptly named party dots. We're going to use the fun gold woven ribbon, or I don't know, everything says woven, that weave, open weave trim, and the white woven ribbon. I can't say that. White woven ribbon. We tried to say that last night too, and it doesn't come out right. And we're gonna make some fun kind of celebration theme projects. There's a fun flip card, and there's gonna be a cute gift box and special gift tags. And so you can find all the details of that on my website too. I got lots of stuff now on the go. Here, let me just put this over here. And today we're going to be playing with the Timeless Plaid DSP, which is so fun. I love it. So let's go down to the desk and let's start crafting. That's why we're here. So you can see I've got little bitties here, but so this is the Timeless Plaid DSP. I do believe it's on back order right now, but it's supposed to be in next week. So don't fret if you see it's not available. It's coming back. And it is 6x6 paper. You get 12 double-sided designs, 4 of each. That's my math, right? 48 sheets. And so these are all the patterns, plus these ones I ran out of. This is all I had left of these ones. But I love it because it's like a nice soft color palette. And so when I went to design my projects, I pulled out the cardstock. This is what I do sometimes. I'll pull out the cardstock in these colors of the DSP or the ink pads, and then it helps me to see what I want to pair together. And so I love the way like Misty Moonlight with Lost Lagoon and Old Olive, Calypso Coral and Pebbled Path and Basic Beige, those kind of the colors I'm leaning into. And they're just really pretty. And so I wanted these cards to be something that would be little like timeless, like the paper name, right? And so that you could use it for anybody. So I did put like twine and stuff on it, but if you wanted to do a more masculine card, you could just leave off some of those details. And so I just wanted to be something versatile that would be fun that you could use as a little gift set. So here we go. First, we're going to make a little gift box. First, I was just going to make cards, and then I was like, oh, that's too boring. We got to make a box. So we're gonna make a box, so hopefully this goes well. It took a little like finagling yesterday to figure out the dimensions, but I think I got it. So yeah, just know that when I'm showing you these projects behind the scenes, I've been like, it takes some figuring out sometimes. So for the box, I'm going to use basic beige as the base. And then we're going to go from there. So the first piece you need, I was like, what am I doing? First piece we need is 9 7/8. So we'll cut this to 9 7/8 by 5 7/8. And remember, if you're on my email list, you get a PDF of all the dimensions. If you're not, or if you miss it, I try to say everything pretty clearly here for you in the video too. So 9 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then we're going to turn it to the long side and we just score it twice. Once at 4 3/8. 4 3/8. And then once at 5 1/2. Okay, and that's going to be like the outside of our little box. And then the next piece is going to be 7 1/4 by 7. So 7 1/4 by 7. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the 7 1/4 side. So I call this the long side when I'm doing my measurements. And we need to score it a few times here. So the first score is at 1/2 inch. Then 1 1/2, then 5 3/4, and 6 3/4. And then we'll turn it to the 7-inch side or the short side, and we just score it at 3 inches and 4 inches. Okay, hopefully that's all good. And I want a piece of DSP for the front. So while I've got my paper trimmer out, I'm going to cut that too. So this was my favorite pattern. So I'm going to use this one and we're going to cut it to 4 by 5 1/2. 4 by 5 1/2. All right. See a few of you on here. How's everyone doing today? You staying warm? Do you know in Calgary it was like, minus, I don't know what it was. Minus 25 feels like minus 35. It's been so cold. Anybody ready for summer? This is why I made a class with hibiscus cards, because I'm craving summertime. Okay, so this is our outside, and we just had those 2 score lines, so we'll just go ahead and burnish those folds. And you can see it kind of has like a book look to it, right? So like this. And then we're going to create a little box to go on the inside, and that's where you tuck your envelopes and your cards into. So this is the piece that we got all scored up here. So we need to first go ahead and burnish all those folds. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then we got some pieces that we got to cut out here. Okay, and then these ones. Okay, so everything's equal no matter which way you go, so it doesn't really matter. And then what we need to do is we need to cut out, I just got to double check what I'm doing. We're going to cut out, let's see if you can see the little squares. It's a little bright. This section with this one and this one here. So these 3 are going to go. We're going to leave this as a little tab. So I'm going to like wedge that out. And then I'm actually going to cut this one right out. And it doesn't have to be like amazing straight, because this is actually going to be at the back, so you're not going to see it. So I am just going to use my scissors, and I'm just going to go up to that score line there. And let's see here. Here, we'll trim this piece off. So we've got those 2 sections out, and then we don't need this little flap either. We do need this square one. So we'll just trim that off. And then this needs to be a flap, so I've got to cut down this strip. Okay. So this is what you should be left with. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we're going to cut out this section. Cut out this one. Then we'll like wedge this one out. And then just snip down the tab. Oh, wait, and then we have to get rid of this piece too. So got that. There we go. All right. So this is kind of what you're left with. And so now we're going to create our little box. So we're going to, hopefully I got this right. We're going to fold it in like this. Let me just roughly show you, and then I'll put all the adhesive on. So tabs kind of fold in, and then we've kind of got our box like so. And then we'll stick it inside our little cover. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I think I might use my Seal Plus, is I'm going to flip it to the back side, and on these little square tabs, I'm going to put some adhesive. And then those are going to fold up and in to the front of the box. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and secure those. Okay, and then I'm going to put, well, I might have wanted to do it when it was flat. I think I meant to do that. You might want to put all your adhesive on while it's flat. That would have been easier. But I'm going to put some tear and tape on the flaps. Yeah, definitely more awkward when your sides are together. I can't remember everything, you know. Okay, well, now it feels awkward. Okay. And peel that off. We'll put that in like this. Okay, and then we can put tear and tape on the back. But when you're going to make this, you will already have your tear and tape on, so you don't have to do it while the box is together. And we'll do that. Okay, so this is the basic of the box, and then the cover and the inside and everything you can dress it up however you want. So like if you wanted to have, like, use a little circle punch and just punch that out so it's got that little cutout look, that always looks cute on something like this. But just because we got a lot of projects to make here, I'm just going to keep this part simple. Peel all that off. Then we'll grab our base and just make sure you set it inside the score line here and a little bit up from the bottom. Not very much though. So you want to be able to close it. And then just secure it like so. And then you've got your little box. Fun. So let's decorate the front. And we're going all in on the plaid today. So this was the piece that we cut, which was 4 by 5.5. And I'm going to keep the front cover fairly simple. Again, you could do the front before you assemble so that it's flat. Because if you're like me, you keep forgetting to do this. So I'll hold it. And we'll try to center this here. Okay, and then my inspiration here for my sentiments today is the Memorable Bloom stamp set. And I love the sentiments in this one. Love it. So, you mean the world to me. Thanks so much. You were awesome. Love and thanks. You've been on my mind, and I appreciate your thoughtfulness. So we're going to use a whole bunch of these today. So I'm going to start with the little one, Love and Thanks, since this is just like the cover. And the dies that I've used today, just because I have a variety of things, but you can always mix and match, right? Like with your own supplies, whatever you've got. But I've got the Stylish Shapes dies for some shapes that we'll be using today. I'm going to be using the Unbounded Love dies for the labels because they have amazing label shapes in all different sizes. So for this one, I'm going to use this die here. And just for speed today, I've got all my things cut out for us today. And then I also have the Friends for Life dies because I wanted a leaf on all my cards. So this was my inspiration. So you could definitely interchange this with any kind of leaf die that you have. And then I've used this little swoosh here on the cover. So I'll show you my pieces here. We've got the little swoosh cut out in Misty Moonlight. And then I've got the greenery cut out in Old Olive. And here is our label. And I'm going to be stamping in Pebble Path for every card today. So I'm just using Pebble Path. It's just a bit softer, right, than black, and it looks really good with this paper. Right, so I'll put this on first, just with seal. Just kind of center it. And then I'm going to just use my seal too on this, but you could use glue or glue dots or whatever you want. And we're just going to put that at an angle. And then just to keep kind of that natural, neutral look, I've got a little bit of linen thread on every card too. It's a good staple. It looks good. And when it's curly, sometimes I just use my fingernail to like straighten it out a bit. And then 12 inches, loop it back and forth, however you want to put your twine on. There's no right or wrong way to put it on. We all kind of have different ways that we like to do things. So I'm just going to set that out so it's kind of loose. And then we'll use dimensionals on the back of this. Like so. And then just layer that on. And then it just needs gems, right? You still need gems, even if it has kind of this natural look to it. And so today I'm using, look how many I've used. Do you ever finish gems? I love these ones. Adhesive backed texture dots. So they're from the Animal Catalog. Let's see if I can get you to see the texture on them. But I love them. They look great with everything. They look great with everything. So I'm going to put like 5 maybe on the front cover. And I'm also going to use them on all our cards on the inside too. There, so there's kind of, yeah, like our little book shape. And now to decorate, like you could go around, like, and you could put DSP here and here if you want to dress it up. You could add DSP here, cut out your little pocket. Lots of ways to step it up. Okay, so let's do that. Now we're going to make 4 cards, and these cards each have a nice simple layout that you can copy, and they each have their own unique color scheme kind of based on the DSP, and they all kind of coordinate just a little bit, right? So when you're doing a gift set, you want them to all have some similar elements. So for this one, I've got 2 pieces of DSP. I think these ones are cut right. And so these are the patterns that I'm going to use. So you can just see which ones they are. And they're both cut to 4 by 3. And then I'm going to add just a little piece. This is a layout I use all the time. So if I'm stuck, you might see me make this layout. I'm just going to add a piece of crumb cake in there. And this is just 4 inches by 3/4 of an inch. So we'll just start by putting this crumb cake one on the top here. And when I have DSP that's 6 by 6 paper stacks, sometimes I try to find layouts that, apparently I can't put this on top at the same time. Okay, I try to find layouts that will go into 3 inches, right? So that you can get the most out of your DSP. So I tried to do that for every card, didn't quite work, but for most of them, so I can get 2 pieces out of 1 DSP instead of just getting 1 shape out of it. So I just attached the crumb cake behind. Not very straight, I might add. Okay, I just got to pull that up. That is really crooked. Okay, just a second. I'm gonna have to fix that. I wonder if I can get that off. There's like, little crooked, and then there's like a lot. I don't even think I could fix it. Okay, I'll have to fix it later. Okay, don't look too closely at this one. Come on. I think I can get it. That's a little better. Okay. Just gonna go for it. And then to go with our plaid today, the other product I wanted to work into everything that I'm doing is the Forever Plaid embossing folder. I love this is like my favorite embossing folder. So obviously it's one of these nice big ones that are 6 by 8.5. And so you can do full sheets, you can cut out a multiple pieces. And so I'll show you what I did. So I've got the stylish shape dies here. And if you're going to emboss and cut out a shape, I recommend you cut it first and then emboss it. Otherwise, you're going to flatten your pattern. So just a note there, because once you run it through, if you've already embossed it, then you cut it, it flattens out the whole pattern. So I've just gone ahead and done that already. So this is what it looks like. This is Lost Lagoon. So fun. And we're going to put this on with a pile of dimensionals. Okay. And then because it is plaid, you do kind of have to get your pattern straight. And then similar elements, right? So I've got that greenery cut out again in Old Olive. And so I'm just going to lay that across like that. And we're going to grab our twine. And basically what I did is every card I cut 12 inches, and then sometimes I looped it back and forth. Sometimes I just made it messy. Like you can just do whatever you want. You could tie a bow, however you want to put it on. I think I'll just do this just to go a bit faster. And I got a label piece cut out. This is from the Unbounded Love dies. And this one we're going to do, I appreciate your thoughtfulness. Look that up. And we'll just use dimensionals on the back. So this is a fun color combo. You've got Crumb Cake, Old Olive, and Lost Lagoon. And I think that looks really great together. We'll center that. And then use our little gems, our textured dots, so that everything starts to look kind of cohesive together. I'm gonna have to open a new package. That's exciting. So there's our first one. And I'll probably cut the tails and fix that up kind of after. Then our next one, so these are all just thick basic white card bases just to keep that continuity. And this time I wanted my plaid to be the whole background. And so I went ahead and just embossed the whole piece in Old Olive. And now I'm going to cut it to size. I'm going to cut it to 3 3/4. And then I actually want to make strips just to break it up a bit. So I'm going to do 4 strips that are each 1 1/4 inches. And just a note, you are going to want to keep them in order so that the pattern matches, if you are detail oriented. Otherwise it's going to bother you. So you kind of do have to keep them in order. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll put those on first. I feel like by the time I get my adhesive on, I'll get them all mixed up anyway. So to get the 4 on, you do have to go a little bit close to the top. I'm going to try to keep them kind of loose in case I need to move them just to get the spacing right. But you'll see why you want to have the pattern matching there. So when you cut your strips up like this, that just breaks it up a little bit. Then you get that white peeking. See, I had that one wrong. There we go. And the last one. Okay, that's not too bad because on my first one, I had to move them all around a lot. So you kind of have like a skinny, a skinny border there at the top to get them all spaced out. And then when you're happy with it, you can just set it down. And then for the circle this time, because we've got the embossed background, I cut out a piece of the plaid. This is actually the same plaid that was on the front cover because it's my favorite. Yep, so I had to use it twice. I know plaid is one of those things I can't resist, right? So if Stampin' Up brings out anything that's plaid, I always have to get it. Love the plaid. Love, what else do I always have to get? Daisies. Daisies and plaid. Those are my favorites. And that hasn't changed. I have like those things since I was a teenager. Okay, so for this time, I've got a little different label shape. And this one is, they're all from the Unbounded Love Dies. And this time I'm going to stamp "You Are Awesome." And I did do little, I was going to use these in more than one card, but I ended up only putting them on one card. But these are also from the Unbounded Love Dies. And so I'll just put a little adhesive on opposite corners. And these are cut out in Misty Moonlight. And we'll just do that. Then we'll grab, oops, our twine again. Starting to get a pile of scrap. Oh, you can see all my mess on. I try to like hide it, but you can kind of see it just piles up, right? So maybe I'll just have it all coming out the bottom. And then we'll put our dimensionals on. Peel that off. And then try to center that. And again, I would probably just fuss with the tails a little bit once I was done. But you don't want to watch me do all the fussing parts. So we just go through. And then our dots. And that is our second card. Looks like I've got, oh my, I folded it totally crooked. This one's going to need some tweaking after the fact. Okay, so that's our second card. For our third one, we're going to go and bring in some Calypso Coral. So it's going to look a little different, a little more bright. Oh, Meg, you like plaid and daisies too. Yes, the classics. It's classic. This is cut to 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm putting it on a basic beige mat that is 1/8 of an inch bigger. So it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. If you don't like doing 1-inch mats because they're kind of teeny, just up it by 1/4 of an inch. Sometimes I just like that thin border. And then we'll center this on. And so like with the circle, I wanted to use a shape, so I make sure to cut it out first, and then I embossed it so that I didn't lose any of that texture. And then we can go ahead and put these on. So these are all great. I didn't do the color combo of the last one. The last one was Old Olive and Misty Moonlight, right? So now we've got Pebble Path and Calypso Coral for this one. And all easy layouts, right, that we can just copy with whatever we've got. You got a different banner piece, use a different banner piece. Don't have a banner piece, just cut it out on your own. Have a different leaf piece, you just cut out a different leaf piece, right? So it's easy to recreate. And this time with my twine, I think I'm just going to fold it in half. And then maybe grab a glue dot. and then just have the tails hanging down. And I want to use all the stamps. So this time we've got the thanks so much. So as you can tell, I didn't use any of the flowers from this stamp set, so I will definitely be using that in the future. But this one, just to keep with the plaid, I was trying to make it not flowery because I tend to always have flowers on my projects. So this time I was trying not to go flowers, but it would be easy to make. You could stamp and cut out those flowers from the stamp set too and add those in for an extra layer. And we'll add our gems again. Okay, and that is our third card. All right, so I want to hear your favorites. If you like the blues and greens or the Calypso Coral. The next one I'm kind of going back to blue again. I've got our basic white, I'm gonna try to say it, basic white card base. And this time I'm going to use beige as the background. And so I've already ran this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and embossed it. If you haven't seen these before, right, there's a line here at the bottom, which is especially good for these patterns that have lines or directional things. And I just line it up with the line on the bottom and then run it through. Make sure you put your hinge first through your machine. And there's a 3D folder, so you just need platform 4. And we are going to cut this just to a basic 4 by 5 1/4. And so you could cut it first and then emboss it, but I just had a whole sheet here already embossed. And go ahead. And this is our last one, and then we can tuck everything into our box. Okay, so that creates our background. And then this time, oh, I didn't my paper trimmer. This was the plaid that I chose for this one. So it's blue. The other blue in this paper is boho blue. So if you want to go a shade lighter for Misty Moonlight, then you can work in boho blue. And we want a piece that's 3.5 by 3. So it's already 3 inches. So we'll cut this to 3.5. And then I'm going to mat it on Misty Moonlight. That I'm going to actually line up the left side. So it's kind of going to look like that. And so the Misty Moonlight is 3 5/8 by 3 1/4. So we'll go ahead, put these on. Let's see if I can coordinate this. Okay. Then we'll put this on. And I'm going to line it all up on that left edge, just for a slightly different layout. Then we've got our little leaf piece cut out again, this time in Misty Moonlight. And I'm just doing my adhesive like this today because it's fast. So if you want to do your glue or whatever to make sure it's a bit more secure. And my twine. So, right, we've got the leaves that are similar, the color scheme, we've got the twine and the gems on every one. And so that kind of pulls it all together. I'm just going to stick that in a glue dot. That might be too long. I'll have to cut that one. And for our final sentiment, we've got You've Been on My Mind. So I used all of them except for one. You mean the world to me. So lots of good variety in this set. And working through my dimensionals here. Okay. And this one will just layer up like so. Okay, we got this. There we go. Let's trim that off a bit. And I've only got 2 gems left, but I definitely want to have 3. So I'll have to open my other package and get the last one out, but I can do that after. All right, so we've got our 4 cards. Okay, let's just move this out of the way. Let's bring back our box. Okay, and we're going to grab some envelopes and just the tabs on the inside there. So the envelopes are going to fit in there. Okay, so we've got our 4 matching cards. And then we have our little gift set. I love making little gift sets. I made one a few months ago with, what is that paper called now? That pretty paper with all the in colors, the soft like flowers with the wild wheat and the boho blue and the moody mauve. So it was kind of fun to make a little matching gift set. So there we go. All fits in nice. And like I said, if you wanted to like punch a little hole out here and decorate this, when I was finished, I was like, that's like a lot of beige. So I might want to like step that up a little bit. But that is our project today. Let me just come back up here. So thanks for hanging out. If you took the time to watch the replay, I really do appreciate it. If you guys would like and subscribe and all those fun YouTube things, it really does matter and make a difference. So I really appreciate it. Oh, just a question. This is the stamp set that I used, Memorable Blooms and the Timeless Plaid DSP. And so I always on my website, I'll have a full link to all the supplies that I use. So you can see exactly what I used if you're ever curious. I will be taking a break next week. My best friend's coming into town to visit, and so and it's teachers convention, so my kids will be home, so it'll be kind of crazy. So and I have to get ready for my winter craft day. So next week I'm not going to be live, but I will be back the following week after that, and we will have more fun crafting. And so thanks so much for hanging out here, and I will see you next time. Take care, guys.